Drajon is in the urn now. I won't bury him in the state of Indiana because Indiana took him from me. He's gone. I can't get him back.
Only on RTV6, Drajon Reed's mother weighs in on the new video showing her son before he's killed following a police chase.
We have zero sense of having any ability whatsoever to communicate and to deal with any anger issues other than taking a weapon out and pulling the trigger.
A clearly frustrated Metro Police officer after yet another night of deadly violence. And an overnight fire wipes out an Indiana City Street Department. What they are going to do now.
This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Nothing that I've seen that would tell me that the police had a right to take his life.
Now at 5, an RTV6 exclusive new video in the Drajon Reed case. See what happens when the police chase ends and why lawyers don't believe Reed fired a gun at officers. We begin tonight with this RTV6 exclusive involving the IMPD shooting death of Drajon Reed, which was played out on Facebook Live. Our Call 6 Investigates team obtained surveillance video from the May 6th incident showing moments before the deadly shooting. Call 6 Chief Investigator Rafael Sanchez joins us now with those details. Rafael.
Amanda, good afternoon. Reed's lawyers tells Call 6 Investigates that the 24-second video gives them insight into their developing case. This surveillance video shows Drajon Reed stopping his vehicle near 62nd and Michigan Road after leading police on a long chase. It's the first time we see Reed bail out of that vehicle as Officer DeJure Mercer pursues him. We blocked the officer's face since IMPD has yet to release Mercer's official department picture. A closer look at this surveillance video does show Reed running with a T-shirt in his left hand and 2 cell phones in his right hand.
To us, that just shows that it's consistent with what we thought, and what we thought is that he did not have the capacity to fire a gun at Officer Mercer because his hands were occupied and he was running.
This guy is a trained soldier. If he really shot at that police after 2 shots, probably would have gotten him wounded because they're very close to each other.
The surveillance video also does not show what happens when Reed and Officer Mercer leave camera range. Critical moments in the encounter. Now in that video, we see him run beyond the building.
Right.
So we don't really see that what happens next.
Right.
Can't police say, well, Rafael, look, it's not a full video. They're showing you just half the story because what happens next is that their client shot at us.
Mm-hmm. They probably will say that. They'll say that, and then I expect the story to change along the way as well. I expect for different versions of this story to be presented to the public as evidence keeps coming out.
On May 6th, Reed, accused of reckless driving, came to the attention of police. He was streaming on Facebook Live. The initial officers following Reed were IMPD Chief Randall Taylor and Deputy Chief Kendall Adams. They were pulled from the chase while other officers responded to the pursuit. It ended here, with police saying tasing the 21-year-old did not work. And then police say there was an exchange of gunfire. What unfolded put Indianapolis in the national spotlight, leading to days of protest from people demanding justice for Drajon Reed.
Drajon is in the urn now. I won't bury him in the state of Indiana because Indiana took him from me.
We will hear more from Drajon's mother tonight on the news at 6 on that video. The family's lawyers, they tell me tonight that they have witnesses to back up what's not seen in that surveillance video. Now, RTV6 made Metro Police and the special prosecutor aware of this story. Both decided not to comment because of the ongoing investigation. This, of course, remains a developing story on this Wednesday. State police are investigating the shooting. Their effort is underway. The Reed family is still waiting for the autopsy report from the Marion County coroner. And Reed's legal team is still waiting for a response from the U.S. Department of Justice asking for a federal investigation on Dre'Jon's death.
And Raphael, what about the weapon found near Reed's body?
Well, Metro Police say that the weapon looks a lot like one seen in Reed's social media feed, but the family's lawyers tell me they haven't seen any of the evidence. They also tell me that they are fully aware of the warrant that is outstanding from the traffic stop back in September here in Marion County. They're also aware of all the social media videos showing Dre'Jon holding a weapon. They say that has nothing to do with why Dre'Jon was not alive for his 22nd birthday celebration yesterday with his mother. This story will, of course, continue. There's so much to this story. You can find the entire story and all the videos right now on the IndyChannel.com. Also, the details on that lawsuit filed in federal court. We have those documents as well on the RTV6 app. Amanda?
Thank you, Raphael. We'll see you again at 6. And we are following breaking news from Georgia, where a now former Atlanta police officer will be charged with felony murder and 10 other charges for fatally shooting Rayshad Brooks. Brooks was running away and was shot in the back after he pointed a stun gun in the officer's direction. The district attorney also said Officer Garrett Rolfe kicked Brooks while he was on the ground and that the other officer he was with stood on Brooks' shoulder. That officer is facing 3 charges, including aggravated assault. Rolfe has already been fired. The other officer is on administrative leave. Both men are being asked to surrender by tomorrow evening. And more breaking news after a very violent night that saw 2 people killed in Indianapolis. Another deadly shooting this afternoon on the east side. The shooting happened at the CVS at 21st and Post, but the victims were found at the Speedway at 16th and Post. 1 woman has died and a man is in critical condition. And with the addition of that homicide, Indianapolis stands at 98 for the year, and it's only June. This comes after 2 people were killed and 5 others hurt in multiple shootings overnight. The deadly shooting was discovered around 1:20 this morning on the northeast side. Police found a car that had crashed into some trees near East 46th Street and Arlington Avenue. Officers say 2 men inside the car were dead from gunshot wounds. Metro Police say we're on a track to have a record number of homicides in 2020. An IMPD officer we talked to overnight was very blunt about the state of affairs in our city.
People obviously can't get along, so if we can't get along, let's just shoot each other, because that seems to be the proper thing to do now, because we have zero sense of having any ability whatsoever to communicate and to deal with any anger issues other than taking a weapon out and pulling the trigger.
5 other people were injured in 3 more shooting incidents overnight. If you have information that could help police in any of these incidents, call Crime Stoppers at 317-262-TIPS. And there is work taking place every day in our community to reduce crime and give our youth a better path for their future. Tonight, a local grassroots organization is employing kids this summer to keep them out of the streets. Our Nicole Griffin is finding out how it's also giving them skills they can use to feed their families.
Here at ML & Tripp Mentoring Outreach Center, they just started their youth employment initiative, and the first step is on beautifying the grounds here at the center on North Sherman Drive. And from there, the kids will then create a community garden to eventually feed local families.
We have to tilt up the ground because the flowers won't go in the grass just like that.
Instead of riding their bikes or jumping in the pool, this summer is a time to focus on growing for these local kids. Not only will they be growing produce and flowers, but they will be developing skills to set them up for a successful future. The work is being done at ML & Tripp Mentoring Outreach Center, where Fletcher Triplett and his wife, LaShawna, have a passion for empowering our youth.
Teaching them to be trustworthy, respectful, independent people, to the point where I know once you're outside of these walls that you're doing what's right. Even when it's to the point where you're involved with the police, being respectful to avoid any altercation or anything that's going on out there, losing your life.
He helped me be a better person, a better man, a father. He helped me a lot, so the only thing I can do is give back too and try and help other kids like he helped me.
The kids in the employment program will receive a bi-weekly stipend thanks to grant money from the Central Indiana Community Foundation. Throughout the summer, they will also learn skills to help them manage their money and run their own business. Working for you, Nicole Griffin, RTV6.
Thanks, Nicole. And the kids in the employment program come from Warren Central, IPS in the neighborhood around the center. It is not too late to sign your child up to be part of the employment and mentoring program. Just reach out to the center. It runs until the end of July. They mentor and tutor kids throughout the entire year. And all new at 5, the city of Newcastle lost trash trucks, snowplows, and salt trucks in an overnight fire. The fire at the city's street department happened shortly after midnight and burned the building to the ground. Mayor Greg York said it was a very hot fire with the metal melting like butter. No one was inside at the time.
Lost all of our dump trucks, lost our end loader, with chipper, asphalt paver. I mean, just we go down the whole list of our street department. So literally we lost the street department building and street department equipment.
York said for the short term, they have 2 older trash trucks they can use. They're in the process of trying to lease some equipment, and nearby communities have offered their trash trucks. The cause of the fire is believed to be electrical in nature. Schools in Indiana will not see their state funding cut due to COVID-19. The governor just made that announcement this afternoon. The state is expecting a revenue shortfall of more than $1 billion this year alone. He said many state agencies are cutting their budgets by about 15%. Higher education schools are getting cut by about 7%. But K through 12 will be spared. Governor Holcomb said the state will be moving forward with the current budget, which includes a $183 million increase in K through 12 funding. He says they're able to do this because the state has responsibly managed money over the past few years.
This just illustrates or underscores the priority and the importance that we place at this very foundational level, that we were able to arrive here, and how important it has been that we have prudently managed our state, fiscally speaking, through the good times and the tough times.
Holcomb says he hopes this helps district leaders have some certainty as they prepare for the future. And today, the state reported the highest number of coronavirus deaths in the past 6 days. We learned of 24 more today that occurred between May 20th and yesterday. That brings the statewide total to 2,289. And the other number we watch closely, new cases in today's report, is the lowest of the past 6 days, an increase of 264. The statewide total now tops 41,000. Mark.
I'm Mark Mullins, live at the Kroger supermarket in downtown Indianapolis, and I've got something for you to check out at the checkout and how a simple move here can make a big difference for hungry families. That's next.
And rainfall, it's been missing for a while. We've had just over an inch so far this month. Our pattern will change, though. I'll explain that coming up.
Substance use disorders, treatment, and recovery.
WRTV is teaming up with Kroger and Second Helpings and spending this week focused on raising money and feeding Indiana families. My co-anchor Mark Mullins joins us live from a downtown Kroger with more on this partnership and how you can help. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Amanda. Well, we are 3 days into this campaign, and really, this is a big effort that requires very little effort for anyone donating here at the cash registers. And let me tell you something. The sign here says it all. All you have to do is round up your grocery bill, or you can choose a donation of your own amount to help when you're checking out at any select Kroger location. WRTV is teaming up with Kroger and Second Helpings to raise money to help feed hungry families in our area. And the need is there. Second Helpings has been in the business of feeding those in need. It works with restaurants all over the city that would otherwise collect food and distribute that to those who may be hungry. So nothing goes to waste when dealing with Second Helpings. Our partnership with Kroger and Second Helpings is already making a difference. More people are seeing our story about the need, and they are stepping up to make donations. Kroger says the donations have doubled since yesterday, and for Second Helpings, that means they're able to make a big difference in a big way.
We're really excited about the potential that this has to raise important funds to help feed Hoosiers throughout the pandemic. We want to make sure that everyone knows about the opportunities to help. I know that the Scripps family has already committed $12,000 to be matched, so we hope that everyone will step up who can to participate in that match in whatever way they are able. The beauty is each person can have a real impact without a lot of investment.
This campaign runs through Father's Day, and again, the Scripps Howard Foundation and WRTV will match up to $12,000. To learn how you can help or see select Kroger locations where you can donate, we've made it easy. Go to the IndyChannel.com/Feeding Hoosiers. I'm live downtown at the Kroger store. Mark Mullins, RTV6.
And thank you, Mark. Another dry and warmer day. We hit 85 today, but there are some cracks developing in what has been our dry stretch. So your watering of the garden or flowers may not need to go much longer as we start to get at least a chance of rain in here on several occasions. Temperatures and humidity climb. There's headline number one. The temperatures will peak the first half of the weekend, and our rain chances will peak on Father's Day. Not perfect timing there, but we need the rain. As you look tomorrow and Friday, any rain chances very minimal and located in the eastern and southeastern portion of the state. Our rain chances will increase as we go through the weekend, especially Sunday. Tomorrow, if we see any showers, it will come from the east. So what's happening in West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, and portions of Ohio will try to make it west and cross the state line into the eastern portion of Indiana. 86 in Connorsville, temperature 85 in Sullivan, 2 degrees warmer in Bedford. While to the north, temperatures are in the low to mid 80s. We're not quite above average everywhere yet. Say hello to Duke and Millie. We've got their undivided attention. They're staring right at you. Their ears are perked up. They are ready to go for a walk this evening. It will be comfortable in the sense the humidity is still not bad. Should be in the low 70s by the time we get to 11 o'clock tonight. Thanks to Tracy Reagan for sharing those beautiful pictures. Temperatures tomorrow, they will warm to 87. We jump by another couple degrees. It will be dry for most of us, but let me show you where the showers may creep into the state along the state line with Ohio and southeastern Indiana. They pinwheel back. The chances are very low, but I'll just point that out. And like today, I think we'll see the buildup of the cumulus clouds. We'll add a few more degrees as we get to Friday. Generally a dry day, temperatures right at 90 degrees. And Friday we spend the day between weather systems, the one to the east and then the cold front that sits to the west. That is what will elevate our rain chances as we go into the weekend and early next week. 92, warmest day in the forecast, happens to be the beginning of summer that arrives officially on Saturday evening. Our rain chances will increase Saturday night. Scattered thunderstorms on Father's Day and on Monday. Temperatures do start to cool down, as you can see, next week, with that chance of rain continuing into early next week, and then highs a full 10 degrees cooler than what we expect on Saturday by the middle of next week.
Freedom to them was much more than it is to us now.
A history lesson on the holiday known as Juneteenth will tell you how it came to be just ahead.
Keller and Keller, right now.
Juneteenth marks the day slaves found out they were free in Texas. And as we prepare to celebrate that freedom on Friday, Troy Washington is working for you to trace the history and share the meaning behind the day.
For me, celebrating Juneteenth was sort of a rite of passage, from winning Juneteenth pageants to parades. It's always hit close to home for me. In fact, I was born right across the street from the spot where Major General Gordon Granger stood in Galveston, Texas, to tell slaves they were free.
To the balcony and read that as of this moment, the slaves of Texas would be free, and they would have the same accordance as their master. If they were to be worked, they were to be hired out, and they would be paid a fair wage.
Though that announcement came in 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation had actually become official in 1863, meaning slavery ended 2.5 years prior, but slaves got the news late.
Freedom to them was much more than it is to us now. What freedom was to them is because back before this happened, the only thing that our ancestors had to look forward to was the sizzling heat, the rawhide whip of the overseers.
On June 19th, 1865, that changed. Now free, slaves jumped for joy, but many didn't know where to turn. To always remember the day, June 19th became Juneteenth, the day black people celebrate their freedom from bondage.
Back in the days, there were ball games, rodeos, field barbecue. Everybody just had plenty for everybody. You know, it wasn't a thing. Nobody was selling nothing.
Originally, everything was free on Juneteenth. Over the years, that's evolved, but the message has stayed the same. It's a day to kick back, relax, and just appreciate freedom. Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
And Friday night here on RTV6, an ABC primetime special to commemorate Juneteenth and its meaning in the ongoing struggle for black equality in America. Watch Juneteenth, a celebration of overcoming, Friday at 8 p.m. And all new at 6 p.m., they may be on summer break, but it's been anything but a normal offseason. How the Colts have handled the change brought on by COVID-19. And next on the news at 5:30, if you plan to roll up your sleeves and give blood, it might be subject to a new test. The information it could provide in this COVID-19 era.